Here we go. Here we go. My brother back in the building. Yo, hold up. We got Sergeant Nicholas Irving back in the building. Yo, Nick, what up? I feel like we just sat down together. You becoming Lil Boosie on this channel, kid.
I know it feels like it. It was like 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago.
It was less than 2 months ago, but that just go to show the demand is there. Like, people want to hear your perspective.
Hey, I appreciate it. I just speak with, you know, whatever flows, man. What I feel, what's right.
I'm gonna tell you, when Vlad hit me and Vlad was like, yo, I want to get Nick back on the show. I said, huh? I was like maybe your calendar's off. Maybe your dates is off.
That's what I thought.
He was like, nah.
When I got the message, I was like, wait, what? Yeah.
Nah, this is crazy. But you know something, man? It's always my pleasure to have you. I can't wait. We got a lot going on in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And I really want to see and get your thoughts on a lot of things. So let's start with the obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy Trump.
Yep.
I mean, he is not disappointing.
No.
That dude is box office. He is the news cycle. He came into office, and I think he's been in office for what, all of 40-something days?
40-something days, yeah.
And he's doing stuff that's unprecedented.
Isn't it?
Like, he put what? He imposed a 25% tariff on China, Canada,
Mexico,
which is our friends.
Mexico too, right?
And Mexico.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, he said that he was going to do this. Are you shocked by it? What's your thoughts on this?
Dude, I think, like, I'm not shocked. I think Trump is he's a man of his word, you know, or at least he tries to be. And I think I'm not sure how much power they truly really do have, you know, but I know that the power that he does have, he's definitely using it and doing and everything he said he was going to do. We'll just have to wait and see what the impacts are, you know, but I don't think that you can't fault the guy. He said exactly I got to respect that. You know, he's a man of his word.
Okay, he is a man of his word on some things, most things.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll say he's a man on his word on 50% of the things.
Hey,
sometimes Trump just be freestyling.
That's 50% better than most politicians. That's 50% better than 99% of the politicians.
Damn, that's real, kid. That's so real.
That's what I think.
You know, I don't know if this was one of them things that I wanted him to stand on his word on, like real talk.
Which one? The tariffs?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Canada, they're our closest friend.
Mm-hmm.
They've been a friend to the United States almost from day one.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, China, we get so many of our goods imported into this country from China.
100%, yeah.
And, you know, Mexico, same thing.
Yep, yep.
It just feels like, and you give me your thought, but it's so much going on in the world, whether it be the Ukraine, and we're going to talk about that. Like, we fighting a lot of people, a lot of different battles at one freaking time, bro.
It's America, like that. We were founded on violence. That's a fact. We were founded on violence and rebels. That's what this nation was founded on. So you can't get too surprised or shocked to see and realize, like, we stay in drama. We stay fighting. You know, I look at it from just my perspective being in the global war on terrorism. Like, as soon as that was done, or we marked it off the calendar, we checked it out the box, it felt like to me, weeks later, we were already drone striking, bombing, putting troops in other countries. So it's like, it's a never ending war. And you got to think or start to think that, like, what is this benefit for America? Like, why so much war? It's got to be for finances. All the military, this is a military industrial complex. It's a whole machine, and this whole machine's run on war. So you can't get shocked or surprised that, like, we stay in it.
No, and you're absolutely right. This country was founded on violence. There's nobody on planet Earth that can deny that.
Yeah, yeah.
But you would think somebody like Trump,
Mm-hmm.
he this is a billionaire. He sits
Allegedly.
with billionaire friends.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. There we go. Okay. His friends are billionaires, but many of the people voted him in office because of the economy.
Yep.
So it wasn't just the top. It wasn't just my billionaire friends that are like, Trump's going to make me more money and I'm going to pay less taxes. It was average Joe
Yeah.
from down the block who was like, yo, you know what? Trump's getting my vote because this guy gets it. When he was in office, I had way more money in my bank account. I might be Democrat, I might be Republican, but the only thing I do know is over the last 4 years, the paper ain't been what it was when he was in office.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
But the very thing that people voted him in on, he's threatening himself with it by imposing these tariffs.
True.
People are
yeah.
now losing jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
The price of goods are going up.
Yeah.
Stocks are way, way down.
Yeah.
Do you think this man has a plan, or is he just freestyling this thing?
I got two ideas, right? I think, like, the one side of me believes that all politicians are the same. It's just a different face, but you're going to get the same result. You know, the results never will change. It's just a different face. And I have the firm belief that, like, I don't think that the presidents are really in control. I think it's the puppet. I think that they're the face that, you know, the American people get a chance to see. They can spit on that guy, but they'll never get a chance to spit on the people at top who control the president. I don't think the president really runs anything. He might have a certain agenda, but his billionaire friends who, you know, lobbied all this money to get him into presidency, they're the ones who are really in control, and they're the deciding factor. It's like the Congress, you know. I'm like 100% sure that all those guys are heavily influenced by outside money, people with deep pockets. So I'm not sure how much power the president really does have, but I mean, do I think he has a plan? I'm sure he has a plan. It's like what Mike Tyson said, though. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And maybe Trump may be getting punched in the face by, who knows, some outside influence or force. But 40 days is not bad for what he's done. I think that, you know, let's give him a few more months. Let's give him a year. You know, I think we should give it a year and see where it goes from there. There's been a lot of this whole administration, if you think about it, has been like the whole promises. What was it? Promises made, promises kept, or something like that.
Made, promises kept.
Yeah, but if you look at the people around him, surrounding him, there ain't too many people upholding that promise. There's a lot of broken promises being dished out to the American people. Maybe that's the whole game. I don't know. I don't take politics serious at all. It's a game to keep us distracted, occupied, while other things go on, you know, behind the scenes that really do affect our day-to-day lives and well-being. We'll see. I hope we're not living on a hope and a dream, hoping prices go down, you know. But I will say, it was not funny. I guess it is funny, like that everybody mocked Trump for being, oh, you one-term president. I mean, Biden, he didn't make it 8 years, you know. God dished it out.
Nah, he didn't.
It was terrible.
But that's a whole other story. I mean,
yeah.
To me, that would take me down a road of how weak the Democrats are. The
Facts.
way they just turned on them almost overnight.
Yeah.
Not to say we didn't know that man was aging and his cognitive skills were diminishing, but I just, like, one thing I will give to the Republican Party and Trump and the way he rules with this iron fist.
They stick together.
They all move together.
Yes. Yeah.
Like whether right or wrong, if I'm in it, we all in it.
That's a family to me. That's how my family is. You know?
Correct.
100%.
I've never seen anything like the Democrats sitting on this moral high ground half of the time, They're divisive toward one another. God forbid if anybody does anything that is even considered not kosher. You know, me being from New York, Cuomo was hugging women.
I just saw that.
Literally hugging and kissing them on the cheek.
Yeah.
And everybody turned against this man. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Isn't he running for like mayor?
He's running for mayor.
Yeah.
He's running for
Wild.
mayor.
Diabolical. That's wild. It takes a certain man, it takes a certain individual to still, to even try that.
But here's the deal. Politics is so effed up. Why wouldn't he? Like,
I
real
know.
talk.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, why wouldn't he? Trump won. He was sleeping with not prostitutes, porn stars.
Yeah. Same thing.
He was on tape, talking about grab him by the PUSSY.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Like, why wouldn't he at this point?
Right.
Like, it ain't no moral high ground that none of these politicians stand on.
No. I think a lot of them also use like religion as a vice. I don't think half of them they really have any, not only like morals, I don't think they have any real religious beliefs. I think they just put on a show. I don't think half of them even believe in anything. They believe in themselves, which is not bad.
Correct.
But there's a point, but we got to all realize at some point in time that, you know, we don't control time, we don't control destiny, we don't control fate. We're all going to go to the same destination at the end of the day. We can't control when or how that happens. You know, some people can, but I don't know. We only have so much control, so you can only put so much faith in yourself. I failed myself more times than I can count, so I would never put too much faith in myself. Not too much.
Nah, that's real. You know, I want to get your thoughts on something because China, when they got hit with that tariff, you know, they responded very quickly and they was like, they're ready to fight any type of war that Trump wants to fight. Like they came back with very, very strong words. They were like, if it's war that the U.S. wants, be it tariff or a trade war or any other type of war, we're ready to fight to the end.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a military man.
You don't want to hear that.
What do you think would happen if the U.S. went to war with China?
Wouldn't be a U.S. anymore. I think the American people's mindset would change drastically. However you feel today and how you felt in the past, like erase all that. It would be like, imagine this, like you want to get thrown back into the Stone Age in a matter of minutes. China has some hackers. They know how to do stuff. They have really good technology. I'd go as far as to say probably in some aspects, better technology than we do. If they wanted to shut down our power grid, internet, and all that stuff, the, you know, electronic infrastructure, power grid, like we would be thrown back into the Stone Age. And that's without even firing one shot. We did the same thing invading Iraq. Like that's one thing that we do invading another country. We shut down their electrical powers, we bomb, you know, certain things, but you want to take the power away for them being able to communicate. You want to take that away. So if China wanted to, they could shut down the American population fairly easily and have everybody out here fighting amongst themselves, killing each other just for a loaf of bread, you know? And then you get the troops involved. I think that the way the military, and you'll hear a lot of vets say this, like, it was harder when I was in. I've been that guy too, but legitimately, you can look at it on paper. I think it was like 70% of the military personnel are overweight and obese, which is insane. It's a crazy high number. Don't quote me on 70, but I think we're about there. And just the mindset of the average troop nowadays, the average soldier, they're not prepared to really go all out for anything. Most of the guys are in for a paycheck, in free college, and they get a chance to travel the world. There's no war going on right now, so half of the guys they're not even thinking about war. They don't even know what war is like. The war ended back in like real hard combat back in like 2012, 14 or something like that. I'm talking hard combat. We haven't seen war like that, and going up against a nation like China, a country like China, I don't think we're prepared for that. The average soldier, ground fighter, we fought guys in flip-flops and sandals and man dresses. for 20 years, and they put up a hell of a fight. Imagine guys with technology, training, money, power, more manpower. They have a Navy, Air Force. They have all that, the special forces. They have all that. It'd be a pretty good fight. And I just don't think that, your average, I don't know if this might come across weird or bad, but like you got soldiers who are more concerned about can they wear a dress on the weekends and identify as this. They're not thinking about fighting and doing what you have to do. When I joined Ranger Battalion, the first question I was asked when I got in there was, why are we here? I had like a few other guys next to me. And he asked each of us, why are you here? And you come across with the whole, I want to serve my country, be all that I can be. And he's like, no, cut the bullshit. Why are you here? And as blunt as it may come across, we all to a T said, because I want to kill people. And that sounds bad, but in the time of war, that's what you don't become a special operations guy training and doing all this training to be a nation builder and win the hearts and minds. You only train for one specific job, and it's all volunteer. You don't volunteer to get into this line of work and not want to kill or be capable of it. So I don't know. That's what I was in for. I think that mentality has shifted, changed. I was in during a time when it was just that. We wanted to go kill as many bad guys as we possibly could. And we did, by the thousands. So just not used to that now. And we were doing it up against, people way less, not significant, but they didn't have the infrastructure that China has. And we fought them for 20 years. And on many of occasions, had us tuck our tails for a while and run. So they put up a good fight. China would crush us.
This is why I so love to sit with you, because my word to everything, I didn't expect this response. And I know that our viewers, they're going to be just like I was. I was literally sitting here and I'm processing everything you said from top to bottom. You said so much dope stuff. I almost don't know what to attack first.
My bad.
Nah, it ain't your bad. It's a great thing when you can sit with somebody and they make you think. They make you see things from a different perspective. The first thing I want to touch on is how, when I asked you what would a war look like between the U.S. and China, you immediately went to technology.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking long-range missiles. I'm thinking nuclear. You talked about their technological superiority over the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
And how they can almost kill us from within, or have us killing each other from within.
Yeah, they've hacked banks. Look at all the stuff that they've hacked, recently. It's not hard for them to do it. They have little farms where hackers go out and they just destroy stuff. They hack, and they're really good at it. And I'm sure China has a little division that specifically is tailored to that, just like we do. It would start off like a technological war, but that's like the first wave.
That's the appetizer?
Yeah, that's the appetizer. The bombs and the nukes come way later. You gotta, it's a lot more before that. If it was like shut down everything and we're on the streets fighting for a loaf of bread, I'm gonna let that simmer out, marinate for a good few years. Wars aren't end, they don't end, I don't think, just with hey, I'm gonna nuke this country right now. No, let's stall them out, starve them out. We can win this war without losing anybody on our side. Let them fight. We're already used to it. We can't, as a nation, stick together. You go over to China. They're a very connected people, very connected people. The ones that move here, they're still connected back to China. They're still putting money back in the pockets in China. We can't do that as a people here. We already fight ourselves. Let toilet paper go off the shelves and see how quick Americans go throwing hands with each other, killing one another over toilet paper. So
yeah, and it happened during COVID. Do you remember people in an uproar?
And where did COVID come from?
Yeah, that's a whole other thing, right?
It ain't hard for China to win a war. We would fight they wouldn't have to fight us. We'd fight ourselves. They'd be like, give me that debt. Get me at that.
You know, before I move this thing on, you said something else that I have to touch on. You said when you guys signed up, they asked you, why were you here?
Mm-hmm.
And when everybody gave their truest reason for being there, that's when, and I don't know, your drill sergeant or whoever it might be, your superior,
Yeah.
is like, okay, now we can rock and roll.
Exactly, yeah. We got to be on the same page. Like, as a ranger, especially, like, our job, there's always been, like, sayings and quotes and stuff. You send rangers in when you want something completely destroyed over the span of, like, 8 hours or a night. If you want something wiped off the face of the earth, whether it be infrastructure or people, you send in rangers. Or if you're a Navy SEAL and you need to be rescued, then you send us in too. But like, that's our whole job. It's just to destroy. You got Navy SEALs, they do other stuff. You got Green Berets, they do other stuff. They go in and speak a language. They gather up a fighting force and have those guys go out and do fighting, and they fight alongside of them. But then you got us, and you send us in when you want something just gone, erased, whether it's life or buildings. And we all have to be on that same page. We're not training 6 months out of the year to deploy for 4 months continuously throughout your entire career to go play patty cake and hopscotch with the enemy. It's just a kill.
Wow. And it's so heavy, for lack of a better way to put it, when you just put it in just point blank terms. Our entire reason for existing is destruction. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
We have no other reason to exist
Mm-hmm.
except whether it's technology or life,
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure, countries. We destroy.
That's it. Yeah. We don't do
That's
hostage.
crazy,
yeah.
Nick.
We don't do hostage rescues, none of that. I mean, we have, but that's like few and far in between. And the ones that I've done, it was with SEAL Team 6. And they did all the fun stuff, if you want to call it the fun stuff. And Delta Force, yeah. But our job was just to kill. But you look at the backgrounds at which those guys come from. We all come from broken homes. We all came from messed up childhoods. And none of us had, 4-year college, 8-year college degrees. None of us had doctor in front of our name. We were all barely out of high school, barely made it through high school, hated being at home, was hating life, and that was the only option. And that's the group of guys that they select from. And out of those group of guys, who's going to make it to the end? And we're going to take the most messed up individual at a young age, and we're going to put them down this pipeline, and the ones that we get out, okay, that make it through the end, we can mold that messed up mindset into what we want. But you got to already be kind of off your rocker to even volunteer to even join that job. You have to be. No sane person wakes up and is like, you know what? I want to be a spec ops guy. I want to go out behind enemy lines, outnumbered, and there's a good chance I may die, but I want to go out there and fight the bad guy. And if I do die, I want it to be on the battlefield. Like, you got to be off your rocker anyways to even want to sign up for that. Yeah, throw me out of a plane. I will never do that again. I'm scared of heights. I don't even know how I did it, but it takes a weird person to even want to do that. You got to have your wires are off. Has to be.
Crazy. The last time I sat with you, Nick, you were telling me how the VA,
Mm-hmm.
it's gotten better, but it's a joke in your words.
Yeah. And now he's firing people. I think Trump fired, what was it? A good substantial portion or a substantial number of employees at the VA. Over 1,000.
No, that's exactly why I'm bringing it up. He plans to let go 80,000 employees from the VA.
You know what?
So if the VA was bad before, what do you think the VA is about to become?
Oh, atrocious. Atrocious. But I mean, shit still tastes like shit. Doesn't matter how you eat it, it's still going to be the same thing. You can fire all of them, it's still going to be the same thing. It's going to be worse, but I mean, worse is still worse. The VA, I think the VA was like, maybe they had good intentions, but I think the VA is full of gatekeepers, people who feel that, oh, my service was better than yours, or I did this and you don't deserve this. And then I think there's people who just genuinely don't care. You know, I think that you can become numb over time or desensitized to other people's emotions or how they feel, and you just don't care. You're just you become a number. And I think that that's how not just the VA, a lot of big organizations are run, that the clientele just becomes a number and not a person. And once that detachment happens, you get terrible service, you know, just terrible service. And I think that there could be way more done for the veterans that, you know, especially the ones that went out and put boot to ass and put their life on the line. I think that there should be more offered. I have my own ideas and my own, I don't want to piss any of vets off. I really don't care, but I'll say it. Like, I know guys who got out and they were not the same when they went in mentally, went through a really, really hard time. And I've had more guys take their own lives being out the military than I ever saw. I've been through plenty of funerals in the Army and being a Ranger, but I've seen more of my guys die being on the outside. Lack of mental health, lack of being compensated. So I'll let your viewers know that, like, when you get out, you got disabilities, you know, my back, my knees, whatever it may be. I lost my hearing, I lost my finger, and you get compensated for that, as you should, if you put your life on the line for the country, and not some politician. But nonetheless, some of these guys get out and they fight tooth and nail to get the treatment that they need financially and medically, and they get denied it. And then that puts them on a whole nother level of messed up in the head. And then they do something that they may or may not regret. But my opinion, I think if you serve this country in the time of war and you had to put boot to ass, I think that you should be compensated off the bat. No person should get out and not be compensated for, let's say, post-traumatic stress disorder. I know guys who get out and they've seen crazy stuff, not right in the head, lost families, all that. And the VA would be like, you know, here's 10% for your problems. Here's 20% compensation. And the guy's like, I'm jacked up all the way. And he does something stupid. I think if you served in the time of combat, you've seen stuff, you stepped outside the wire, I think automatically every combat vet should be compensated like up to 100%. That's my belief. A lot of people won't agree with it, but that's my belief. These guys were not the way, when they went in, they come out different. No one's the same after killing someone, watching your friends get blown up, having a friend next to you one moment, then the next moment he's gone. You're not the same after that. You can't be. I think they should be compensated for that.
I couldn't agree with you more. I was actually in shock when I heard that they were even considering eliminating one job from the VA.
Yep.
And the reason I was shocked is because we have a Republican president in office.
Mm-hmm.
The House and the Senate, they have the majority.
Mm-hmm.
Most veterans, and you can tell me better than I can say, but most military men, most veterans, they tend to lean Republican because the Republicans, they take care of their military.
100%.
They run on that.
Facts.
So to think that they would even consider doing anything that could in any way challenge or bring down something as crucial and critically needed as the VA, I'm still in shock, even as I listen to you speak.
Well, it's critical, but I think that Remember when Elon Musk went into Twitter and he like fired 80-something% of,
Yep,
and it's still,
yep.
it's functioning just fine. Haven't been to the VA. There's a lot of people there that don't really do anything. They don't do anything. They don't, it could be, I think that in order for Trump to do this the right way, there has to be a plan. You just can't fire people and say, okay, now take on the load or whatnot. It has to be very strategic to where it doesn't harm the veterans on the outside, but also cleans up and alleviates a lot of the middlemen activities that goes on in the VA. There's a lot of useless processing and not useless people, but they could be served better elsewhere, and elsewhere is outside of the VA. If you're going to have people working for the VA, I think there should be people who actually care about vets and want to have them taken care of and work for on their behalf. But instead, you just get people, who are there for a paycheck. They lost sight of the whole mission. The mission became the check and not the vet. Get rid of those people. Yeah.
You just mentioned a name. I want to get your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You just said Elon Musk.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on him?
My honest thoughts? Like what I said last time, I don't really care for a billionaire. I don't. And I just saw recently on Vlad, wasn't his dad on there?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
I think Elon's
dad?
Yeah, was on Vlad. I think Vlad interviewed him like recently.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. And it was like, his dad's a weirdo. I mean, Elon's a weirdo too, but like, he was on Vlad, right? Yeah. I'm not going to be like, I want to go have dinner with Elon. I don't think about him, I could care less. I think that he's just a weird dude with big pockets, deep pockets, and a lot of influence because of the money that he has. That's it. Do I think he's a phenomenal genius like the next Nikola Tesla or what? No. Far from it.
Elon's been in the news a lot. He's heading the Doge.
That's the thrice president, not the vice. That's the thrice president. Elon.
Yes, he is, man. Yes, he is. Your man, he got Trump's ear for real, for real.
Yeah. Money talk.
But this dude is a little out of control.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he threw up the Hail Hitler sign. Like real talk. Elon said pardoning George Floyd's murderer, Derek Chauvin, that should be something for Trump to think about.
Hold on, what? Only thing I know about like Elon was he wore that like Baphomet costume and some like satanic cult costume. That let me know enough. You want to know what I think about Elon? Yeah, that's his profile picture or something like that Baphomet costume.
Yeah, but I mean, the dude is definitely a weirdo. I don't think, but then again, he's done phenomenal things, and maybe in order to be a genius, you got to be you can't be normal to begin with. And he's not normal.
What's the definition of like phenomenal things that he's done though?
Oh, no, come on. You got to give him credit on, we can look at SpaceX. The way he revised the entire NASA, like NASA wasn't sending people into space anymore.
You ever been to space? I've never been to space. I could care less about space. I'm never going to go.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We might not care about it.
Yeah.
But so many of those satellites,
Uh-huh.
I believe it's something like 1,600 satellites that are up there.
Those weather
that
balloons?
help us with our cell phone service and cable and this, that, and the third. It's his company that is spearheading that technology and putting those satellites into space.
I had internet before Elon, though.
You did? But coast to coast.
I don't use Starlink. I had internet back when I was in high school. I could call from Iraq to Texas to my wife back in 2007. I've been could talk to people. I
Come on,
think too
Nick.
much.
You got to give this man some credit.
I give
You
him
do.
some credit. I mean, he
You
wants
gotta
to go
give him
to.
some credit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you another thing. Electric cars were almost considered a novelty. They were almost considered one of those inventions we tried, but it didn't really work. So let's just go back. And he single-handedly revamped that industry. Tesla is not the first electric car by no stretch of the imagination.
No.
But he brought that industry back to life.
That's too much cobalt for me, though. Like, it's too many slave kids for me digging up cobalt for a battery. You know, I'm good on all the electronic cars and stuff. I'd rather not be blown up in my own car because the battery caught on fire. You know, my dad always taught me old school, Pat Turner. You better pat your feet and turn corners. If I need to get somewhere, I can get somewhere. I don't own an electric vehicle, but I know what it does take to make an electric vehicle and those batteries. And I'm cool with that.
You know, and I just thought about this as we're talking. Elon has Trump's ear in a major way. And part of the reason he was so successful with Tesla is because so many people, their awareness and their wokeness about what fossil fuels were doing to the economy, people wanted to turn away from gas and things, carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide that was killing the ozone layer. Trump was like, screw that. Like, I'm putting people back to work, go mine for coals, and we're going to do it the old school way. These guys are sitting on opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of their ideals, how the earth moves forward. I don't even think Trump even acknowledges that global warming exists. Meanwhile, Elon became, I mean, he was already a billionaire, but he really became, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars because he tapped into the idea that Tesla, electric, we're saving the planet. And it's so interesting to me to think that, you know, these guys are now BFF.
Yeah, I think, but it's like, in order to save the planet and the whole global warming thing, like, everybody would have to participate. Global warming isn't just reliant on America. You can go to India and see how they live and the global warming that they contribute. But just because every American has, you know, non-fossil fuel stuff, even though the plastics that are used to hold the compartments for the electronic batteries, you know, uses oil and fossil fuels. I don't think that if we all did that, we're going to magically, like, cure Earth and the whole global warming thing. It's going to take the entire world, if we're going to cure something, to participate. And getting India on board, getting, you know, all these other third world nations, and if you want to call them that, countries on board, would be quite a feat. You know, when they burn tires, piles and miles and tons of worth of rubber tires and diesel fuel, we're not changing that. We're not changing. Those Saudis are not going to relinquish their $1 trillion pockets because some guy across the water wants an electronic vehicle. That diesel's going to keep flowing. That oil is going to keep pumping. It's going to keep pumping. And I don't know, maybe he's trying to run off to Mars and terraform it, even though that cost effectively would, like, not be smart. If you can terraform a different planet, you could probably, like, redo something here. Why try to start something somewhere else when you could just fix what you already have here? You know, the man ain't God at the end of the day. God gave us this one planet for a reason. Probably should take care of it. It's like how we're trying to transfer consciousness. You get one body, you're like, I messed this one up, so I want to try to transfer my consciousness into a new, fresh body and rebuild that. I don't know. It's too much for me.
It is, but it's the future, and it's something that we all gotta embrace, brother. Like,
That's
this
true,
future
yeah.
is scary as hell, Nick.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, like you know, and we're going down a whole different path. But you talking about transferring consciousness, many people are not even aware that this is real right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are scientists working on ways that when this fleshly body that we live in
Mm-hmm.
goes back into the ground, our consciousness can be re-put into a fresh body, whether it be flesh and blood or a robot, and live forever. I mean, this technology is just insanity.
Exactly. It's insanity. I think, yeah, that's what we're heading to. Insanity. That's where I think we're heading to. Just pure insanity.
I mean, I don't know if you saw, but it just came out this week. Back in the days, prehistoric times, they had a woolly mammoth. Are you familiar with that?
Oh yeah.
That animal, it's kind of in the elephant family,
Mm-hmm.
and they just recreated in a lab their first woolly mammoth.
What?
Crazy.
See, yeah, I think man is starting to build that Tower of Babel, and we are starting to try to act to become like God. And I think that's where every great civilization always fails, is when you try to, it's the 48 laws of power. We're trying to outshine a master. Some people are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you do that, inevitably, we're going to be destroyed by it. I think that's going to be our greatest downfall. That's my personal belief. I don't see how being hooked up to a machine and doing all this stuff, it's beneficial. I mean, death happens for a reason. I don't know. It's the cycle of life.
No, it is the cycle of life, but it is man is curious, man is ambitious, and to your point, man has, for as long as man has been on the earth,
Killed himself.
killed himself.
Yep.
You're right. Trying to be God.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Elon because, and I want to get your thoughts on this, because now Elon's talking about he wants to privatize the postal office. He wants to privatize things like Amtrak, saying that these things are a disaster. They need to be privatized. Do you think that these guys, because it's all money.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all money.
Yeah.
Is this just the way Trump has pretty much brought his billionaire friends into politics? Is this like, yo, this is going to be the great stagecoach robbery? We are literally going to set this thing up to where we are rich beyond belief. And if there was a 1% before, it's going to be a 0.5%, because we about to get so rich when I get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's no longer even going to be 1%.
Yeah. Yeah. We could be heading towards that, but having that much outsider influence on a presidency, I think is bad anyways. I'm going to say it should be banned. I don't agree with the whole lobbying practice and being able to buy a politician, because who are you working for? Are you working for the American people, or essentially your employer, the guy who paid you? I don't know really who's in charge at this point. I mean, I get it. You have to align yourself with the right people, smart people, X, Y, and Z, but at some points in time, it feels like these billionaire friends of his may have a little bit too much overreach and too much power. And the American people, as far as I remember, never voted for like these billionaire guys. They didn't. They voted for this guy because of his ideas and what he had, in store for the betterment of the nation. And instead you get, billionaire 1, 2, and 3 who are making the decisions and calling the shots. Or maybe it's always been that way and they're just letting us see it now because you have an autistic billionaire who just has to be on camera.
Yeah, right.
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
but
no,
it's facts.
I think it's exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
It's always been that. It's always been these billionaires behind the curtain, behind the scene. And now it's, we pulled the curtain back.
Yep.
This is what it is. You're seeing the Wizard of Oz face to face. Like before, we were just behind the curtain with a megaphone, calling the shots. Now we're in your face. But here's the craziest part, and I say this all the time. If you tell people vote in their self-interest. It's as simple as that. They vote in their self-interest. They don't vote for the populace as a whole. It's what is going to affect me.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact that a billionaire who has never known a day of want, never known a day of, I might not be able to keep the lights on in my house because I got to fill up my gas tank. So I got to really make a life decision here on which one of these I should do. The price of eggs is up. So if I buy this dozen of eggs, I might not be able to buy any other groceries. That guy being able to tell people what they want to hear, people bought right into him, hook, line, and sinker. We gonna be great again.
Yeah.
And I watch rappers, I watch lifelong Democrats, I watch people from the hood who I never thought would identify with an old white man who has never known the meaning of his pockets hurting, and they wasn't voted.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess when it's all said and done, I'm just agreeing with you. I just think the curtain's been pulled back, bro.
Yeah.
It's always been like this. It's as simple as that.
And that's the crazy thing. And back to why I don't vote. Before, you never really knew who you were voting for. Now we get a chance to see. It wasn't the guy that they put on that ticket. It was his friends behind him, the billionaires behind him. Now we just get a chance to see. If they would have put those billionaires up, beforehand, maybe people's votes would have been a little bit different, But now the curtain has been pulled back and we can see who is really starting to run things and who has a lot of power, who can manage and spark up a new department of government and fire certain agencies and X, Y, and Z. I think it's, we're just starting to see. And that's how it is around all politics. Congress is the same way. Everybody who's, a politician, I think, is bought and paid for. They're just the person we get a chance to express our grievances to. That's it.
But you want to know something? Even as I'm listening to you, it just made me, really think of something. First and foremost, there's no going back.
No.
The old way of politics is gone. The genie's out the bottle. Like it's dead and gone. All those lifelong, I gotta say the right thing all day long. People don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Trump really got into office because despite he's rich, despite he probably would never sit with you or invite you to his kitchen table, despite any of these things, that dude came so different and so real.
Yep.
And people just identified, because you got to remember, we live in a social media era. We live in a reality TV era. People just want the real. Give me the realest side of you. And he gave the realest side of himself, and people identified.
Exactly.
And said, I want you back.
Yeah.
Baby, come back.
Yeah. And the other option we had, I don't think people wanted to do another 4 years under that administration. And they only give us.
I think she came across like a politician.
Exactly. Yep.
I think it's that simple.
Yep. Too stiff-necked. I think that a lot of people, the average person, like this new era that we're in, it's we've moved past that you have to talk a certain way or be a certain way,
Correct.
move a certain way. They want somebody who moves and acts like them. And
Correct.
I get it. I agree with it. But then we got to go beneath that layer. Okay, you get past this guy looks like me, acts like me or whatnot. He's saying the things that I truly believe in, but how often do those things really get done through and through? They rarely ever do.
But here's the deal. I don't even know that matters, Nick. Because to your point, 50% of these dudes, they never did or said, they never carried through on any of the things that they said. I mean, it's just politics as usual.
That's just to me, that's crazy. I can't logically comprehend that, to where, why play the game if at that point I'm literally just voting for the best liar? Who's going to lie to me the best to make me feel good? I mean, you can go to a strip club for way cheaper and she'll tell you everything you want to hear. I don't need to go to a booth and wait in line. I can grab some ones, get my Drake bucks, no Usher bucks.
Yo, but real talk, I'm gonna tell you, man, the realness wins. Is the same reason you're sitting in the seat, because you come here and you speak unapologetically your truth. It's the same reason why Boosie freaking is the number one guest on this platform, because like him, hate him, agree with his opinions, agree with his thoughts or not, he is giving it to you 100% Boosie. I'm not watering it down for none of y'all.
And I appreciate that about anybody who can do that, be themselves. We all wear, a costume. Like, I look at it like whenever we meet someone new, that's like the representative of who we want them to think that we are. If everybody got a chance to actually be themselves, I think, you'd be way better off. But for some odd reason, it's just hard to be that way. Public acceptance. I used to care about public acceptance, but then I just stopped caring like years ago. I don't really care anymore what people say or think. No.
Well, I'm going to tell you, there was a poll done, and 2% of Americans said that if Stephen A. Smith
From ESPN.
if he ran for president, they would vote for him.
How many?
2% said that they would vote for Stephen A. Smith if he ran for president. Now, Stephen actually heard about the poll, and he went off in true Stephen A. Smith fashion, basically saying, yo, I'm nowhere near a politician. But if the swamp has gotten that muddy, that y'all would consider voting for me. I talk about sports all day. I got nothing to do with Capitol. I got no aspirations for running for government. But if y'all would vote for me, the state of politics is in the toilet.
What's the easiest way to clean out a forest?
Is that just where we're at?
I think so. And what's the easiest way to clean out a forest?
Burn it down.
Thank you. We haven't gotten to that point yet. The American people, I'm not saying go out and whatever, but I'm just saying the American people as a whole, we have not gotten fed up enough to where we want to clear out the forest, the swamp, whatever you want to call it. We haven't gotten to that point yet. We've become too lackadaisical, too dependent, too reliant on big daddy government. And you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. But after so much abuse, even the pit bull or even the poodle's going to bite back eventually. Just how much more abuse can we take? All dogs bite. So my dad always told me, they got teeth, they bite. Just how much can they take before they actually decide to raise their teeth and actually bite you? We haven't gotten to that point yet as an American people.
Well, and I'm sure you saw this at Trump's inauguration party. Snoop, Nelly, and Soulja Boy performed.
Oh, Soulja Boy was there?
And people were outraged. Yeah, Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy done snuck his way in there.
Wow. Oh, man.
So, needless to say, it was outrage. Number one, let's start with Snoop.
Yeah.
Snoop, he was criticized. Snoop, during Trump's last presidency, he criticized people.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
He just don't give a fuck. Y'all honest, blue-collar, hard-working people and suffering. So if he don't care about y'all, he really don't give a fuck about us. So fuck him too. And fuck everybody down with Donald Trump. I said it, yeah, Snoop Dogg, nigga, fuck him.
I think he did a music video too, right? With a Trump.
I don't know about the music video, but I know he went online.
I remember the online stuff.
He pretty much was like, yo. So the fact that he switched sides and even in any way participated, in Trump becoming president again was shocking.
Kamala didn't pay enough. All her money got spent on Beyonce. Beyonce took the big bag. Wasn't nothing left after that.
So you think that's what it was?
100%.
And
Yeah.
don't quote me on this, but I think Snoop, just like a lot of people, Trump is not stupid, man.
No.
Like, people can say what they want. They could call him a racist. But the guy, man, I mean, he might be all of the above, but he knows what buttons to push to get people on his side. And in Snoop's case, him releasing the Death Row co-founder Harry O, giving him a part, and Harry O was looking at some obscene years in jail, and you done had Democratic president after Democratic president after Democratic president in office that didn't even look at this man for a chance to get pardoned.
Yeah.
And Trump comes and pardons him.
He has somebody on his team that like understands the culture to a pretty high degree.
That's my point.
Yeah, has to. And I think that that's what the other party is lacking. They're doing this, I don't know. I don't know what the hell they were doing. I just know that I think Trump, whoever's on his team, he has a pretty good hand in the pot of the culture. 100%.
Yeah, and your man, Soldier Boy, he defended his decision by saying, yo, they paid me a bag. Obama ain't never put no money in my effing pockets.
Thank you. That's all it is. That's all it is. All it is. Every day. I don't think they necessarily align with that political party or individual or Trump. I just think it was the money. It was the bag. Everybody's got a price, and Trump as a businessman knows that. Everybody's got a price. How
That's
much
one
are
of the
you?
realest things you said today. It's that simple. He is a businessman, and if he doesn't know anything else, most people think they can't be bought.
Oh, please.
Until they get their price met.
Yep.
Whatever that might be. And maybe
yeah.
in Snoop's case, it was like, yo, you freed somebody who would have died in jail.
Exactly, yeah.
For me, that made you realer than anybody else that's ever sat in that office.
Plus the paycheck.
Hold on, we can't forget that?
Can't forget the paycheck. There's no way Snoop would have still went up there and performed without the paycheck. He still got paid.
Okay, so let's talk about Nelly, because Nelly was like, yo, it's not about the money. It was never about the money. I just respect the office.
Really? No one on the planet like woke up and was like, man, I wonder what Nelly's thinking about politics right now. No one ever asked Nelly for a political review ever. And now I don't believe that. Of course he would say that. It's Nelly. No. Country grammar? No. Come on. Nelly needed the bag too. I never heard anyone out in these streets say, man, you know what I'm missing right now? Not only Nelly political advice, a new Nelly album. No one ever. So it was the bag.
So hold on, let me get this straight. Because your man Nelly said it was a great honor for him to be selected to perform at this inauguration. Just hear me out, Nick. He said, I respect the office. So, Nelly said it wasn't about no paper. It was my great honor to serve my country. And I got asked to perform and I did it. What's wrong with that?
If that was the truth, nothing's wrong with that. But Nelly also has a kid too on the way. Or maybe, so I don't know. Being a parent is a little different in pockets. You know, he needed extra money. His new, Ashanti? I'm sure she wanted.
I think they working on number 2 now.
Okay, so yeah, that's why he did. That's why he did.
And he got a few others before her. Like let's not act like this was his first kid.
Oh, so yeah, whatever he got paid for, that's about to go right to the kids anyway. So he needed that. That was light work. I'd have performed at a Trump thing for that bag too. I'd have recited some flow. I got a few bars, I'm sure.
But I'm gonna keep it 100. That bag was probably heavy.
Yeah.
Like Trump didn't get them dudes 10 stacks.
No.
Trump didn't get them dudes like, yo, come in here, do it for your country.
No.
And I'm gonna just give you a quick 10-piece.
No. Trump said,
Trump
how much do you
up.
stand to make during a year's worth of performing? I'll pay you that. Take the year off. It's like one of those type bags, I bet.
Nah, that is so real. Like, literally, they probably sitting home right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? I'm still spending that Trump inauguration.
Right? I got my Trump bucks. Hey, that's all I care about.
Nah, but it's so real what you said earlier. Everybody got a price, man. Like, you can sit on your high horse. You can say what and here's the deal. It ain't always money.
No.
It's not always money. Because in my heart of hearts, I truly believe, and I keep bringing it up, I truly believe that Snoop, it meant something to him, just like it meant something to a lot of, I actually know people, me personally, who were pardoned, dudes who was never going to see the light of day.
Oh, wow.
And dudes is home under the Trump administration.
Wow.
That means something.
Yeah, shout out to Trump for that, definitely.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of things that Trump does. You have to be like, you give him his props. You got to give him his props. I mean, you had Kamala who was locking those dudes up. Trump's freeing them. I mean, I don't know.
Yo, you know that's gonna be a quotable right there. Like that's gonna be a little Nick Irvin meme right there. Just watch. That's gonna be coming across your feed.
I'm a trademark it.
You said Kamala was locking dudes up. Trump is freeing them.
Yeah, but that's facts though. That's 100%. Trump, you got to give Trump credit for what he's done in the judicial system in that aspect. I mean, having been almost locked up himself, that now it's pretty neat that he still got his hand deep into the culture like that and able to make an impact and difference. 100%. Yeah, I appreciate and I'm sure a lot of people appreciate Trump for that. Because without him, Kamala wasn't going to free anybody.
No, because they're too worried. But this is one thing that I will give to this man. I'm very clear. I did not vote for him. Trump will never get my vote. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't agree with some of the things that he says. I think you have to be foolish not to agree with some of the things that he says or stands for. Mm-hmm. But I understand the bigger picture of what it means to have him in office. Mm. There is a trickle-down effect that can affect my children's children with these Supreme Court justices.
Got it.
Last time he was in office, he appointed 3. How many right now? There is a majority of Supreme Court justices. I think it's 6-3.
Yeah.
That's going to affect not just our lives and not just our children's lives.
You're right.
That's affecting our grandkids' lives.
You're right.
And if any of these remaining 3 justices pass away, retire on his watch, it damn near might be, a full sweep.
House. Yeah.
So I just think elections have consequences, and I care about my people too much. I just do, and I
feel you. Oh yeah.
So I'm not gonna sell out for Shawn's personal needs. When the bigger picture is what the effect could be long term. But Trump, he issued his last warning to Hamas. I'm not sure if you up on that. He said, release the remaining hostages held in Gaza, and this is your final warning. So it looks like the U.S. is about to step in, push Israel to the side, and now we about to go to war with Hamas.
That's stupid. It's stupid. Here's my thing. Like, I don't know. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of like why we support Israel so much. It has nothing to do about the Bible. Has nothing to do about that. It's not even the same state. Never mind, I'm not even going to go there. But I think that, one, we need to mind our business, stay out of certain things. I don't want to, not sure if it was he was trolling or joking. I don't want to Trump Gaza. I don't think they want to Trump Gaza. you know? But why? You know, why involve the U.S. in something that has nothing to do with this whatsoever? There's, I don't know. I just don't.
I mean, if you had to guess, you're a military guy.
Mhm.
Why would the U.S. quite possibly go to war in the Gaza Strip?
Because Big Daddy said so. And the U.S. is not Big Daddy.
Elaborate.
I don't know. I'll let some viewers think about that one, but why are we going to go fight somebody else's problem? How can somebody else say to us that has nothing to do with this, we need you to come over here and help clean house on our behalf? Why? There's trouble all over the world, but why for them? Why? Why do we have to jump what we're doing, stop what we're doing? You know, I'm not going to mess with Ukraine and we're not going to support that. We're going to stay out of Ukraine. We're going to stay out of this, but we're going to hop into this because they said so. I don't know. This is weird. Really, really, really weird. Why are we doing that? Who's in control? Who runs what? I don't know. I don't think that who we've been told runs the show is not the one who runs it. But all you got to just see is when somebody says jump and we start jumping and we're asking how high, it's the person we're asking that to. That's the one that's in charge. We're not jumping on our own behalf. We're doing it because somebody else has a problem. I get it, I'm whatever, but there's a whole rabbit hole of leading in of just that. Why? Look up USS Liberty, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Look that up.
USS Liberty.
Yeah.
Got you. I'm gonna look it up.
You should. Think a lot of people should.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. I'm not have nothing against nobody. I just think that some things are weird, and I think that should be questioned, and we should be allowed to question certain things. That's how you progress consciously. That's how you progress spiritually. That's how you progress in life. You have to ask questions. But if we can't ask a specific one question, then that makes you want to ask a little bit more. But when you start getting punished for asking a certain question, and you get little task forces created to, I don't know, this is a whole little, it's a big rabbit hole of why can't we ask questions about certain things when it comes to this? You could talk about everything else, but don't talk about this. It's just weird to me. It's just weird. I think we should keep our hands out of Gaza, Hamas. Let them fight it out. They've been doing it for a long time now. We're not going to change anything. And like I've said in the past, many of times I've been said it, like the only way to wipe clean an ideology is to kill everything, genocide, whatever you want to call it. You have to wipe it off the face and start anew. You have to burn it down. You just because we defeated Hamas, the enemy, that doesn't mean that the kids that they had, their ideology is going to change. Their grandchildren's ideology is going to change. It's never going to change unless you just end it all. There's always going to be fighting and war there. That's just what it is.
I mean, you couldn't be more right. It's so surprising to me, and I touched on this earlier, where it's almost like we're picking a fight with the world.
Thank you. Yeah.
We imposed tariffs on Canada, China, Mexico. Now we're talking the Middle East, Palestine, the Gaza Strip.
Fighting the cartels, too. The cartels in Mexico, potentially sending spec ops guys and to take care of certain cartels in Mexico.
Correct.
Yeah. We're fighting all over the place.
We're fighting all over the place. And that's not to mention, this week, Trump halted all U.S. military aid to Ukraine.
Yeah. Yep.
So, to make matters worse, we got our hand in that now. Whereas the U.S. was the biggest contributor of military aid and funds to the Ukraine, that meeting with Zelenskyy.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to watch that?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yo, okay, so I just gotta, like, you watching that, what was your first impressions?
My first impressions, not gonna lie, funny. I might have smoked a little bit before that. I don't know, it was funny. But professional, I did not expect to see, when I think and when I was taught in school, like the presidency is supposed to be this way, the Oval Office is supposed to, it has a certain honor with it, right? And to see that go down in there, as funny as it was, and as much as I agree with, I'm gonna be honest, I think that the way they went about it could have been a little bit more diplomatic, but I think that Zelenskyy might have needed to hear that. I think so. I'm like, I would have not did it on camera. I don't even think I would have invited him back home or back to our house. Would have never, like, don't even worry about showing up, man. We've given you enough. After all we've given you, and there's no way you're gonna win the war. You can't even get guys off, you're kidnapping people off the street to go fight that don't even wanna fight. You have no manpower. You're not gonna win the war. Money's not gonna win this thing for you. It's not. Supplying more weapons is not gonna win it for you. I can give you 1,000,000 guns, but if you only have one guy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I would have never invited him to the United States to begin with. Like, you're good, man. We've given you enough. The taxpayer has already seen their money just spent however the heck they wanted to spend it. And then you got taxpayer money on our side of the house that these bullshit programs that do nothing but just waste money. We keep giving out money to different people. You're good, dude. You're good. We've already given you billions. Either you're going to fight the war, lose it. I don't know, but that's how wars are fought. You can't have two sides that come out on top, you know? And it's just the nature of the beast. That is war. Just because you're in war, you can't say, oh, wait a minute now, I don't want to die. No, I need help now. It's war, man. It's war. This is what it is. If you take it, surrender. I don't know. I don't really care. It has nothing to do with me. It doesn't affect my kid, my wife, my family. Zelenskyy I don't know. I don't like his whole personality. He comes across as just a beggar. And I don't like beggars. Just always begging. Always, can I have some more, please? You know, can't dress up. You're not fighting in a war. Why are you dressed like that? We get it, dude. You're at a war. Clean up, man. You're not out there in these streets fighting. You're kidnapping young kids off the street to go do your dirty work so you can play dress up and make it look like you're going through a hard time. Let's be honest. We all know about the yachts. We know your pockets are deep. Oh, but then we'll make a deal. It's about the minerals, isn't it? It's not about it's about minerals. War is always based off of stupid stuff like that. Either it's oil, natural resources. That's it. Russia wants something Ukraine has, just like we want something that Ukraine has. Those natural resources. May the best man win. That's what it's all about.
You know, and I was going to touch on this. I'm glad you did. He was actually in the White House to sign a mineral deal. Again, politics as usual. This was about money.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere in that conversation, and here's the deal, because you took it different than I took it. When I first saw it, I was embarrassed for the U.S. I didn't go where you went, like, damn, he needed to hear this. I was just stuck on the fact that it almost looked like this was the plan all along. The way your man J.D. Vance,
I know, right?
like
he was tag teaming, jumping in.
Like that tag team was so ill.
Yeah.
And my word to everything. Like, I would bet dollars to donuts. Before they sat in that room, Trump was like, yo, we gonna give him 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And then I want you to hit him with the uppercut.
Yep.
And I'm gonna come, like, because your man JD jumped out of
nowhere. Yep.
And was talking that slick talk like he's the president.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it was weird, right? I was looking at it. I looked at my wife. I was like, he's a vice president, right? They really don't have any power.
Correct.
They don't have any power. They're there just in case the number one guy goes down and he could take the spot. But the way he was going off on him, it was comical. Embarrassing. I see where you're coming from. Yes. And I think that it should have been done off camera. I still think it should have went down if he would have came to the U.S. But like I said, I never would have invited him back. Go fight your own war. And now we're trying to put our hands in Israel's war and issues and problems. You know what I think about those hostages? I think most of them are dead. I think the numbers may or may not have been inflated. And there really ain't really that much people to release, you know? I think a lot of them are probably dead. And what's up with the whole trickle-down thing? Like when both sides, it's not just one side. Hamas, you release everybody you got, and then Israel, you got to release too. You know, I think that's just a weird conundrum that to even be in. And why is it like that? I don't know. And I just don't understand why we're so invested in it to begin with.
Nah, I would love to know. And I was actually looking forward to the conversation because you always provide such great insight on things like this. Because I'm like, what the hell do we have to do with this? That we would literally jump in and tell Hamas, like, yo, you got a couple of days, or else now you ain't just got Israel to worry about. You got us. We on our way.
Everybody's playing chess right now. The whole world is a big chessboard. And I think you got some stuff about to pop off in with the European nations. And I think you got stuff about to pop off with the U.S. and Middle East again. That's what I think.
Okay, I got another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Trump is in bed with Putin?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe Putin is as bad as he's been made out to be. We've been fed a lot of propaganda. I think we've been fed a lot of propaganda based off the Cold War era and the fear of, the nukes and all the atomic, whatever. We're still living off this old fear that I think doesn't even exist. I think we could coexist way better, and we probably do behind the scenes. We got U.S. reporters going to having one-on-one conversations with Putin, you know, and he didn't come across as I'm sure he's had a past, but I don't think he's just this big bad guy that the American propaganda machine displays him or makes him out to be. And I think that there's more, we could do more together business-wise, financially, as two countries together than we can apart. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that Russia needs some minerals from Ukraine. U.S. needs some minerals from Ukraine. U.S. didn't like the deal. And they were like, fine, we'll just let Russia go ahead and get them because we're going to get some from Russia. I don't know. Either way, we're going to get those minerals. The U.S. is not going to give up a war on minerals or oil, just, no, willy-nilly. No, we're going to get that. One way.
I mean, you know, and I asked you, did you think Trump was in bed, in cahoots, working behind the scenes with Putin? Because be it as it may, right now, the U.S., we've paused all aid to the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've actually paused intelligence to the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just military aid, it's not just dollars, but us feeding them intelligence that could help them on the battlefield.
Yeah.
That's pause. So the Ukraine, they're dying on a vine right now.
Big time.
They're in a bad position.
Oh, yeah. You don't have all the cards. They don't have all the cards. The cards are not in their favor.
He couldn't have put it more blunt than that.
Yeah.
So when I see the U.S., Trump's not stupid.
No.
Is this more about him making the U.S. great again because we gonna get the minerals? Or is it, I'm gonna kill a couple of birds with one stone, I'm gonna let you die on the vine, we gonna get the minerals, and we're gonna have a better relationship with Russia, which will make the whole world happy in the process?
It's chess. It's chess. I don't see us going to war with Russia like that. I don't. By him not supporting Ukraine like that, which I don't think we ever should have in the first place, it goes to show, like, we don't have any beef with Russia like that. If we did, we'd have Ukraine's back and we'd have boots on the ground and X, Y, and Z fighting Russians. It's not like that. We're not doing that. We're, I guess, essentially staying out of it and just putting all of our efforts and resources in with what's going on with, Hamas, Gaza. Like San Antonio, Texas is bigger than Gaza, population-wise. It's just wild that, and the square footage or square mileage of how big Gaza is. You haven't finished this place yet? It's wild. But I guess that's what you need the U.S. for. Somebody's got to keep their hands clean and who knows what. But USS Celebrity, I don't know. I would really encourage people to look it up, though, and dig down that rabbit hole.
No, I will.
Yeah.
Trust me. By any chance, did you catch that address, the first address that Trump gave to Congress?
I saw I saw like snippets of it. I don't know what happened that day. I didn't want to watch. I just didn't really care, I guess. But I saw that he had made an announcement about like big news for America or something. And then I have still to this day, I didn't watch it. I saw snippets, but what was the big news? Like, was it an investment or something?
I have no idea. I mean, I watched it, but he touched on all of the things he needed to touch on. But he played down the potential economic fallout from this trade war that we're in and,
he
and
did?
the tariffs. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
He said it's going to get rough.
Really?
For a short period of time, but we're going to be back. So
we were supposed to be back though when day one. We were supposed to be back.
From day one.
Yeah. Now we just gotta suck it up a little bit more, and then we'll get back to it. I don't know. That's weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, over the last week, he's walking back those tariffs. Though I think he put a pause on them.
Which one? Mexico?
The Mexico, Canada, and China. I think they got like a 30-day reprieve or something.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the fallout is crazy.
Yeah, I just saw today, this morning, like Trudeau. That his name, Trudeau.
Justin Trudeau.
He made an announcement about Trump talking out the side of his neck about something, how it would affect us as Americans with all these tariffs and stuff with Canada, how it's like gonna hurt the average American individual.
Well, it is. I mean, you think about it. Canada is one of the biggest importers of aluminum.
Maple syrup.
Yeah. Syrup for sure. But, we can go through this thing a million ways from Sunday. He has to have a plan.
Has to. If not, we're just going to have everybody pissed off at us. Which they already are, but yeah. I said if there's no plan, everybody's just going to be pissed off at us, but it's like they already are anyways, though. I don't feel like America's like the most loved country in the world. No.
Well, you've been overseas.
They hate Americans.
And you've worn that uniform overseas. You know damn well.
Yeah.
Forget us not being the most loved country in the world.
Yeah.
They hate us.
Hate us, 100%. Yeah.
And that bully mentality that we have, that we have had forever, he is exacerbating it. He is the living embodiment of it.
Yeah.
It is like, yo, America or F you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm doing this because I want to make America rich. I want to make America great. I want our country to be back in the glory days. And the rest of the world is like, yo, you just feeding into everything that we have ever been told about America. Y'all are just bullies. And once upon a time, y'all walk with a big stick. But guess what? We done built up our arsenal too.
Everybody got a stick now.
Everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can only step on so many toes before those people start becoming enemies. And then eventually those enemies jump you. If one of them can't do it, all of them can. I don't know. I hope America, I just think, well, I don't know. No empire really lives to be thousands of years old, hundreds of years old. We're like, what, 200 and, how old is America? 250, 200?
Yeah, just over 200.
200 something years old. I don't feel like doing math right now. So yeah, Rome wasn't too far behind that or too far off. I think every great empire eventually has to fall. I don't know how it's going to be for us. Probably going to be from getting jumped. Who knows?
You said getting jumped?
Yeah. You can't piss off the whole world and not expect to get jumped by somebody. Somebody's going to try to do something. I would. Only way to show a bully he's not tough is to punch back. No one's really punched his back like that yet. It just takes one to stand up to the bully eventually.
Well, to your point, maybe it's not going to be one.
Yeah.
It look like we're about to get jumped because we making enemies with everybody. And to answer your question, America's 248 years old.
248, yeah.
248.
I was going to say 247, but I'm up there. I'm okay. Okay.
You know, another thing that stood out to me when he addressed Congress this week, he called Elon Musk out, thanked him publicly.
Yep, I saw that piece. Yeah.
He claimed that DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency that Musk is heading up, has already saved the U.S. $105 billion. Now, they only been in the office for 40-something days.
Allegedly. I mean, I saw something like a report that some of those numbers were way off of what DOGE was initially reporting, like way off by millions. And they were saying, like, I don't know, you gotta look it up. It was, I just saw the article of the money that they were reporting turned out to be like either way highly overinflated or just totally wrong or just wasn't even a thing to begin with.
No, I mean, the receipts themselves that's been published. Now, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but the receipts that have been published says that he saved something like $18.6 billion. That's a big difference between $105 billion. They can only produce receipts for about 18.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. We might be getting a lot of smoke blown up, into our ears and up our ass, but I think we always have. I don't think nothing's changed. I think we've always had it. It's been that way. I think it's always been that way. They say we're saving this much, but I don't know. My neighbor's out here trying to buy chickens now because they can't get enough eggs.
How real is that?
It's real.
No, that is real. Like, I know you saying it like it's a joke and people might take that as a joke, but I actually know people who are raising chickens.
Yeah, I can't. I would like to, but some years ago, it's like before COVID time, I had bought a chicken, a hen, just for the eggs and stuff. I didn't know that even the female chickens, the hens, they make noise too. So I had to kick her out. I thought it was just the male, so I can't.
So bright and early, they was waking you up?
Yeah, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. Nice eggs, though. Beautiful eggs. Very healthy, very good eggs. But
how often do they have eggs?
It was like once every 2 days.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I would have
They're producing eggs that quick?
It's insane. It's insane. I would have like a carton. I was having too many eggs where you have to give some to give to my neighbors or whatever. But in a week, you'd have a carton plus.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she was popping out.
One chicken.
One chicken. You won't have to buy a carton of eggs you'd have more eggs than you can know what to do with. Like every 2 days or so or something like that.
How'd they taste? Fresh, unprocessed.
Stop playing. You don't got to put them in the fridge like that. They can stay out for a while. Like, I forget how long, weeks, months. Then you can jar them up, pickle them, last longer. But the taste, you can't get it from a restaurant. You don't get it from the store. I'm talking really, really, really good eggs. And they had my entire yard to, do what they want. I didn't keep them pinned up or anything like that, but best eggs I ever had.
So you could really tell the difference. Yeah, that's crazy with these eggs, bro.
Yeah.
And I did some research. Real quick. The average chicken lays an egg every 24 to 26 hours.
Yes, sir.
Did you find that to be real?
100% real. Like I said, when I say I had too many eggs and you're giving some cartons to neighbors, free eggs. And I'm the best eggs you ever had. Delicious. Really, really good eggs. My stomach's growling. You guys are gonna have to mute the sound or whatever, but my stomach's over here growling. It just did now. But yeah, I can do some eggs. If I were not doing what I do now in life, I'm not going to say I've always been a hustler. Man, I've always been a hustler. It's like growing up where I grew up at, I knew how to make $1. You know what I'm saying? And whether that be cutting grass or selling stuff. But if I were back then, like had that same, in that same position, I would get like 2 chicks. I think I paid $20 for each one and brought them home. I would start like selling eggs. I'd be an egg pusher. In this day and age, for like I would be an egg pusher. It's the easiest work on the planet. At this day, yeah, it's the easiest work on the planet. There's no, like, I didn't find it to be high maintenance. It's harder raising a dog than it is having a chicken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I'm not going to eat a dog.
I could tell you this. Man. In this world we live in right now, the price of eggs is crazy. And, you know, I can't stress this enough. Trump ran on bringing the price of consumer goods down.
Yeah, I know.
That people are counting on this man.
Yep.
Bring the price of eggs and consumer goods down.
You know what's crazy?
If you don't do that, your poll numbers are going to go plummeting. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think they already are. But like, what if, I don't know. I don't know if he even has the power to even do that, though. I mean, he can sign all the executive orders he wants, but I mean, I don't know. Can he really control the prices, the prices of consumer goods and stuff like that in the nation? Just say, everyone drop your prices. Target, I want those prices dropped. I don't know. It'd be weird if he can actually pull it off. It'd be great if he can pull it off. I think, like you said.
I mean, he better. He ran on it.
Yeah, all of America's damn near betting on it.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, that was a big reason. You know, I mean, Biden was old, but if Biden had that economy a little more in check, if people had more money in their bank accounts, trust me, people wouldn't care.
Facts, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They just wouldn't care. But, you know, we were talking about U.S. picking a fight with the world. One of the things I forgot about, did you see basically Trump is like, yo, we going to get control of Greenland one way or the other?
Yeah.
Like, who's even thinking about Greenland?
Nobody. I think sometimes he might just wake up and whatever he's feeling is what's coming out. Sometimes I think, you ever see that?
I don't even know what Greenland is. My word to everything. What, serious? Like, he said Greenland. I had to go and, like, what's in Greenland? Like, why would, of all the places,
ice,
the exotic locations on planet Earth, the places that are rich in natural minerals and resources, you said we get in control of Greenland one way or the other. Where the F does that come from?
Is there oil in Greenland?
You tell me. I have no idea.
That's the only reason why I know somebody or a politician in America would just want to take over another country. You got to have something. 9 times out of 10.
Let me, because I did look it up. Let me take that back. It is one of the most mineral rich islands in the world. It is.
I mean, that minerals keeps popping up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody wants some minerals. Man.
Yo, but dude is definitely, I mean, we see how this thing play out, but he is definitely picking a fight with the world, and that's scary.
I guess, what are we in, March right now? March? We got some time left. We got some time. I'll give it for the rest of this year before it's like, I think by the end of this year, we should have a good, firm grasp on whether or not it's about to get stupid. Maybe 6 months. I'll give it 6 months. 6 months, we'll have a good, firm grasp if it's about to get stupid and if their whole motto, slogan, promises made, promises kept, whether that was all true or not, or just smoke and mirrors. Because if it's that easy to get a presidency, I got some slogans.
Okay, let's talk about somebody else who just seems to be picking a fight for the sake of picking a fight. Your man Kanye West.
Yeah.
Kanye went on a Twitter rant, and okay, first and foremost, please tell me you see him walking around with
the Nazi shirt? Yeah, the swastika shirt, yeah.
Yo, dude.
Yeah.
What do you think that is about?
Bear with me. I'm gonna go deep into Kanye's realm, I think. Like, do I think he's a genius? Musically, if you want to call him a musical genius, yeah, but what if this whole thing he's doing, he's using the whole, to gain attention, the whole Nazi thing, swastika to gain attention, but maybe it's he's not regaining ownership, but the original symbol, the swastika, was never like bad to begin with. The swastika has been around for many generations before Hitler was even thought of. Before Hitler was in a nutsack, the swastika has been around. And it was always used for like a symbol of peace, love, completion. Yeah, it was never used for a symbol of violence. So I don't know, that's maybe Kanye could be going that route and being like, hey, this is not even a bad thing. There's a lot of cultures, India, Pakistan, Native American, they've used the swastika for a while. It's been a thing, so maybe he's taking that approach. Or maybe he's just really nutty and is just trying to get attention, which is what Kanye does. He just likes to get attention. That's what makes these people get money. That's what gives them money. That's what makes them money. Whether it's good or, who made that quote? I forget who it was. Whether it's good media, good publicity, or bad publicity, it doesn't matter. Publicity is all good publicity. It could be that too. Could be that too. But I also think he's a weirdo, so.
No, he's definitely, you know, this is just Shawn's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are watching
a mental health crisis.
A mental health crisis
Yeah.
in front of our eyes. Real talk.
Yeah.
I was talking to Ray Benzino and I told him the same thing. I truly believe
Mm-hmm.
that this is what mental illness that is diagnosed but untreated looks
Boom.
like.
Ah.
We're watching it.
You know what's even crazier is the fact that we can watch it. And it's called entertainment.
Ooh.
That's what's even crazier.
Ooh.
So what's the real mental illness? The people that consume it and stand by and do nothing but just call it entertainment? I think it takes a mentally ill person to do that. Or, you know, I think deep down, we all have mental issues. No one's got it all figured out. No one's all perfect. We just hide it, mask it, and whatever's considered the best way of hiding it becomes the norm, or whatever is the norm, the normal way of hiding a mental illness that we all probably have. Yeah, it becomes normal. But yeah, the fact that we can witness it, call it entertainment, is sick if you think about it. Yeah, but it is a mental illness untreated. I didn't think of it from that perspective on his end. Initially, yeah.
No, that's what I truly in my heart believe.
Uh-huh.
But I also want to touch on something you said, because you spoke about the swastika and its origins.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly, he could be using it in a way that is expresses of love
Uh-huh.
and peace and unity. But by his own words, he said, I love Hitler. I'm a Nazi. So that blows that theory right out the water, Nick.
I didn't know he said all that. My bad. Hold on.
He said it in no uncertain terms. I love Hitler. I'm a Nazi. He even said,
he said
I'm
that.
a racist.
Really?
He actually said that.
Wow.
I'm a racist. Stereotypes exist for a reason, and they all be true. This is why I say this dude is literally
Yeah.
an untreated, mentally ill
Yeah,
patient
yeah.
that just happens to be famous.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Who would say something like that?
But here's the thing. Why doesn't he, like, there's nobody around him that's not a yes man?
You know, I've worked with a lot of people who were highly influential, celebrities, more money than you can count.
Uh-huh.
Those people tend to keep people around them who will not give them truth.
Mm-hmm.
And people want to keep their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
People want, it's addictive for people to stand next to famous people and say, I know X. I have access to X.
Uh-huh.
So you can call them yes men, you can call them whatever.
They want to keep a job.
Just as you can buy, everybody got a price, bro.
Yeah.
You said it earlier in our
Yeah.
conversation. Just as you can go to the store and buy eggs, I can buy a bunch of people who think just like me, and if they don't think like me, I can buy their silence
Mm-hmm.
and just use their services,
Mm-hmm.
period.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that he has quote unquote yes men around him. He just got people who love the check that they're getting. They love the access that they have. I travel first class. I see the world. And if all it requires is me looking the other way in my silence and letting this dude be as crazy and as Looney Tune as he want to be,
Mm-hmm.
that's on him.
You know what's crazy though? Like, that you can be so rich and make it that big and successful and still have no friends. That's wild.
That's wild.
Lonely. That's a lot on us. It's a lonely place to be.
You know, but I'll go one better for you. That is the reality in most cases.
Yeah.
There are so many folks, you know, and that's why that saying, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it.
Yep. I live by it. I live by it.
At the top for a reason.
Yep.
That's one of the realest things ever said.
Huh.
These dudes, these women, they get to the top of the world, but they by themselves.
Yeah.
They don't have real friends. They don't have real people who will sit and, let's just have a drink, reminisce, talk about the old days, talk about these chicks, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I got people who work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I got people who provide service for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really all alone in this thing.
Yeah.
And it's a lonely place to be, bro.
I'm good. And the fact is, like, a lot of people fight to get to that position.
Yes.
A lot of people fight to be lonely. It's crazy when you think about it. We fight to be lonely. Damn.
Fight to be lonely. And that's a heavy statement right there. But it's the God's honest truth. Here's a deal, right? Money, clout, clicks, likes.
Mm-hmm.
That's become the driver for so many of these people, whereas happiness is nowhere near in the conversation for them.
Yep. It's that
I gotta
dopamine.
believe Kanye is not a happy dude.
No, me neither. I don't think he is. Doesn't come across to be a very happy individual. I don't know, maybe things just really took a downhill turn after his mom died and he never got things fixed. I don't know.
I think he was heading in this direction. I mean, mental illness, man, that is degenerative.
Yeah.
It goes your mental, over time, it continues to erode.
Yeah, I lost all my grandparents from it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How old is Kanye? He's in his 40s?
He's about 45.
Okay.
Yeah, he's about 45 years old. I mean, and here's the deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
He went on to say, because he was selling them shirts for like $20.
$20, yeah.
Before Shopify shut him down, he was like, in 24 hours, I made 40 mil.
What?
40 mil in 24 hours. So either this country is racist as hell, Kanye is delusional, or he's just a liar. But if he is telling the truth, there is a hell of a lot of people
That feed the troll.
who went, yeah. The site was only up for 24 hours.
Wow. And he still got paid though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. When you're your own boss, you can say whatever. He's proven a point. I don't know. But yeah, he's also mentally ill and needs to be helped. The way he was being helped, allegedly, may have not been the right approach, drugging the dude to becoming a zombie, but I believe that there's other avenues of approach that probably could better facilitate his issue.
But I'm going to tell you something, and this is as real as I could put it. Kanye is addicted to celebrity.
Yes.
Kanye is addicted to publicity, and I'm not taking this man off the hook. He's crazy. Well, I don't even want to simplify it. He's mentally ill, for sure. But he's also addicted to publicity.
Facts.
And I really think that he crossed the line with those swastika shirts. And I would love to see every social media platform mute this man. I would love to see every media outlet, from the cable news networks to the local blogs, not even report on this man. If you want change, ignore this dude.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agreed. Like, yeah, it's just the reporting on him, and I don't care about Kanye news, but you know, I also got to be the man in the middle a little bit, and freedom of speech. Like, he still is owed a First Amendment. He could say whatever he wants. It might be stupid, but he still had. You got to give him that right. At least I don't know. Everybody is entitled to the First Amendment and the Second.
And you're absolutely right.
But he also has a right to practice the Fifth too.
And these
shut up.
These news outlets have the right not to publish his mess.
Facts.
So he can say whatever he want to say.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
We're not going to amplify it.
Exactly.
We're not going to help you get your message to the masses.
I see.
So
what
if
you're
you
saying.
want to be racist, if you want to be belligerent, hateful, if you want to be on your racist rant, check it. Do it. And the only person that'll hear you is you.
Yeah.
You can say it.
Yeah. I don't think Kanye will be able to live with that, though, not having the feedback.
And that's my point.
Okay, yeah. It's the feedback he's want. Yeah. He's a troll, a big troll then. That's it. More than a troll, but he's trolling, just trying to get a reaction out of people by saying the stupidest off-the-wall stuff you can possibly think of under the guise of musical genius.
All right, switch topics. Go to another rapper. Your man A$AP Rocky.
Just got out, or not got out, but yeah.
He just beat that trial.
You saw how he hugged my girl Rihanna?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was mad when she got home. Be hugging him like that? She doing, but yeah, good for him.
Okay, so, I mean, first and foremost, did you think he was going to beat that? Number two, a lot of people thought this man was out of his mind. They offered him something like 180 days, of which he would have probably did 30.
Yeah.
And he decided to take this thing to trial where he was looking at a mandatory minimum of 24 years.
He had the dream team, though. That he was too confident. The dream team. He had a good lawyer. I mean, Rihanna put up some good money, you know, to take care of those lawyers. He had a dream team. He was good to go. I think for him, it was like, I got the money. I might as well do it. I'm not going to. I mean, he lives I'm pretty sure, a flamboyant, nice lifestyle. He don't want to give that up, not even one day in a jail cell. 30 days is too much. I'd rather, if I got the money to do it, I'm going to fight it, I guess, especially if I know I'm going to win.
Nick, think about what you just said. If you are offered the sweetest plea agreement on planet Earth, bro, we're going to give you 180 days. You could be out in 30.
Do I
You
have?
telling me with all the money in the planet, you're going to fight this thing where you could be looking at a mandatory minimum of 24 years?
If I know I'm going to win the case, though, if my lawyer, like we're confident, we know we're going to win this case. We know we're going to beat it. If I know that, I guess I'll take it to trial. I don't know. I don't want to spend for something. If I didn't do anything, I don't want to spend a day in a cell. I don't want to spend a second in a cell if I didn't do anything. No, I would want to fight it.
Okay, and
I
see,
guess.
that's why
I've never been in that position to where, I was offered a plea deal. I pray I'm never not, but could I do 30 days in jail? Yeah, I did years in the Army. That was jail enough.
absolutely. You was on the front line. You didn't just do years.
Yeah.
You was on the front line, saw combat.
I even had to shake.
I have no doubt that you could do 30 days.
Yeah.
Standing on your head.
I don't think ASAP, would he want to? I mean, the lifestyle that he lives, I'm sure he wouldn't want to give up one day of freedom.
No, I don't think so either. Here's the deal. There's a reason why the feds got something like a 98, 95% conviction rate.
Yeah.
It's not because they are taking everybody to trial and winning. It's because 90-something% of them people plead out. Because the numbers that I'm looking at getting versus pleading, you know what? I know at least one day I'm coming home.
If I don't have the money to do it, I'm take the plea. Yeah, I'll take the plea.
Yo, I don't care even if I had the money. If I had Rihanna money, if I had ASAP money, a nigga tell me you got 180 days and you gonna be out in 30.
Yeah.
Yo, it ain't even nothing to think about, bro. Like real talk. I give ASAP, I give that kid Rocky all the props in the world. The dude got balls the size of freaking planets.
Yep.
Like, I give him all the props in the world because he did something that I personally could not do.
Yep.
Even if I knew I was innocent.
Huh.
Like, even if I knew I was innocent, I'm not gambling with that government.
Yeah.
And in his case, his defense was, I had a gun, it just wasn't real. Like, y'all got me on camera. Clearly there's a gun.
It's a prop.
But I'm saying it was a replica. It was a prop. That's my defense. I give him his props.
That sounds like a good one to me. I don't know. There's some pretty good props out here that look real. I don't know. I don't know. Props to him though. Good. Yeah, that's ballsy.
At the end of the day, I think ASAP Relly, who was, took the stand and was the lead witness against him. He must have been the worst.
Had to be.
He must have been the worst witness in the history of witnesses. He got caught in multiple lies. Like, dude's story was changing up. It was a mess. So it wasn't just that ASAP Rocky had this great excuse with this replica gun crap.
Also had a good lawyer and a dumb witness. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you get all that working together and you going home.
Yep. Yeah.
Let me just ask you, because Vlad, I forget who he was interviewing, but basically he was like, it just seems a little suspicious that ASAP knew he had problems, but he would bring a replica gun knowing he was going to meet with the dudes that he had problems with. Is it even plausible to you that this man would bring a replica gun into a situation where I know it could go there?
Either he's the dumbest man alive or one of the best liars alive. One of the two. Either he was incredibly stupid and actually did that, or he lied really well and it worked. Only one of those two. It was a real gun, or he was just really stupid and brought a prop gun to try to scare people, which is just stupid. I don't think, he doesn't come across as a real stupid person that would take a fake gun to a fight or to a problem. No. He doesn't come across that way.
Michael Jai White, He said he believed him.
He said he believed him?
It was actually a smart move on his part.
To bring a fake
people
gun?
He's like, most people see a gun and people start scrambling. People think it's real.
I'm sorry, I got to disagree with Michael on that one. I don't think Michael Jai White has ever pulled a gun. I don't know. I'm not trying to get drop kicked in the chest, but I would say I'm disagreeing with that. Because people might start scrambling, but if I got a genuine problem with somebody, I'm going to have one too. Yours better not shoot water or air, because if I pull mine out, it's shooting real bullets. So no, I don't think, Michael, go kick something. I'm just playing. I'm not going to do that to that's my guy. But yeah, I just don't, that makes worse sense to me. Like, that's stupid. Don't ever do that. Don't ever take, a knife to a gunfight, and damn sure don't take a fake gun to a problem just to show it off. No, that's stupid. Oh, because if you pull it out, people start scrambling. No, that's not how that works.
Nah, when Mike said that, and I really do enjoy, Mike is one of them dudes I never met, but I love his perspective.
Yeah.
I'll watch his interviews. I actually follow him on social media. I think he's dope.
Me too, but, yeah.
Yeah, like, I think half of his problem is because he's just so nice with his hands.
Yeah,
he can afford to have that perspective. Like, it was a smart move that he bought a fake gun because, people would think it's real. Because he could probably disarm the average dude. He could probably beat somebody unconscious without a thought. So for him, that might make sense. But when I'm like, yo, come on, Mike. Like, damn right.
Let him go try it. I mean, I want him to test that theory. I'm staying away from it.
Nah, but Mike probably don't even need a gun.
That's true.
Mike's so nice with his hands.
Yep.
And so quick with his. Before
you
even get the gun out.
Spinning back kick to the temple. Yeah, I'm good.
Come on, nigga, I saw blood and bone.
Yes, sir. I'm good. If I gotta have a problem
don't act
with Michael,
like I ain't see Spawn.
If I have a problem with Michael, he better know I'm bringing a real one. I'm not. No chances.
Yeah, I think Mike is off because he's thinking from his perspective.
Yeah,
like what he would do. He wouldn't need a real gun.
Yeah.
But I think everybody else on planet Earth be like, yo,
that's stupid.
There's a lot of people who want to protect themselves. They might carry a gun just for protection. That whole idea of I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Mm-hmm. Well, I understand that. I always encourage people to go get legal, go get your CCW, get your permit, so you can protect yourself. Because I think as a man, that's one of our first priorities. But if you are going to decide to do that, and you carrying that thing, in your car or whatever, and there might be an altercation where you got to chill something out, and then the cops come or whatever, I said, always have a replica. Have a replica gun. So if things get chilled out, you throw your real gun in the car somewhere and grab your replica and say, this is what I had, officer. This is what because if you didn't have to shoot it or whatever, if it's a cap gun or whatever, and say, no, this is a non-lethal weapon, they will stop looking. They will look at that and go, oh, okay, you make my job easy. It was this, let's let this go. Meanwhile, the real burner is somewhere else.
And here's the deal. Dudes don't even have to have real beef. Like ASAP, it ain't like this dude don't have access to real goons.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying he didn't have a replica, but I would highly doubt that he did.
Highly doubt it.
Or the goons that was with him. I'm pretty sure they wasn't walking around with replicas.
Facts. Yeah. But in the court, it's a replica, though. I get it.
There you go.
I get it. I don't smoke weed. I just smoke CBD. Let's be official.
Oh my God.
For the record, I smoke CBD.
For the record, but I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's good to be famous. Like some of the stuff famous people get off with.
Right. Yeah.
Like the average person now, if Ray from up the block came into the court with that same
Oh yeah, getting locked up.
defense, like come on, the jurors would be looking at him mid trial like, nigga,
He's
you
lying.
know you done effed up now, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yep. That was your third strike right there.
yep.
Yep.
And they would be looking at him because the jury's trying not to make eye contact, but they would be like a replica. Yo, you done effed up now, right? Like it's
Starts
nothing you
happening.
can say.
Yeah. Starts happening to jurors next to you. Like, come on, man. Look at this guy.
What you said, he be tapping the jurors next to him?
Don't even got to walk to the back to the write down the verdict. We doing it right here. We doing it right here. We're good. We're good, Judge.
Nah, you know damn well a dude marching the court with that. He's baked. He's done. Like a nigga be beating up his lawyer for even suggesting.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you told me I could win with this?
That's that court appointed lawyer. Yeah, they
There
give you
you
those
go.
ones. Yeah. To say it was fake. It's great legal advice.
Yeah, excellent. Like I'm real talk. I could imagine being in that room because they was probably sitting in the room and coming up with their strategy. Somebody had to come up with that. Now I don't know if they was all smoking at the time.
Probably.
But that sound like one of them high moments. Like when you high, you come up with ideas that only sound good when you high. Like somebody was like, yo. Well, clearly you're on video with a gun. They could see it was a gun, but who's to say it was real?
You know what?
Our defense is gonna be it was a replica.
Replica, or I'll be like, hey, that's a deep fake. There's so much technology now.
Oh yeah,
that was
right.
a deep fake. Me with a gun? What? That's a deep fake. That's my defense. I'd have came up with something like that. Not a fake one. Well, that's CGI.
That's CGI right there. Like, look. Oh man. All right. On to something a lot more serious in terms of subject matter. Irv Gotti.
Yeah.
One of the great ones.
Yep.
One of the greats. One of the hip hop. I won't necessarily call him a pioneer. What I will say is he was a trailblazer. He came up during a time that we all refer to as the golden age of hip hop. And he really made his mark in this hip hop culture.
Facts. Yeah.
What did you think when you heard he passed away?
I had no idea he had an issue. Medical issue, diabetes. Like, there was this guy in Ranger Battalion. His name was Smooth. If you're watching this, Smooth, shout out, man. When I would come into work, he'd be like, Irv Gotti, talking about me, my last name Irving or whatnot. But Irv Gotti's always had like an influence in the hip hop culture. And I just didn't expect like at that age, or I'm gonna say that age, like you gotta treat yourself. You gotta take care of yourself medically. You can't neglect certain things. You gotta take care of yourself. You have to.
Nah, but I think it's one of the biggest problems with people of color.
I'm about to say the same thing. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Especially men
Yep.
of color.
Yep.
Not just people of color, but men of color.
Mm-hmm.
We will be half dead
Yeah.
and be like, yo, I'm going to go to the doctor tomorrow. I'm going to just see if I can sleep this off tonight.
I'm trying to pray it off. Yeah.
I'm trying to pray. That's who we are as a people. But he did know that he was suffering with diabetes. He also had a stroke prior, and I believe he was, working through rehab at the time of his death when he had a second stroke.
Mm-hmm.
But I get the sense watching interviews, his thing was like, yo, I'm going to live life. I'm going to live it until I die. And it's as simple as that. So I'm going to continue doing what I do. So if that involves smoking, if that involves eating sweets,
Mm-hmm.
We go through this thing one time and I want to do it my way.
Shout out to him, and you can't knock that. Shout out to him. A lot of us don't get that choice, A lot of people don't get that opportunity to go out on their terms. That's how I want to go out, like this. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. Young. I consider that young still, you know.
Nah, he's 54 years old.
That's
He's
younger
still
than
a
my
young
dad.
man.
Yeah, younger than my dad. So
Yeah, he's a young man.
yeah.
You know, this is a guy who I mean, I want to say it was a year or two before his death. He sold his catalog for something like $300 million. I remember the announcement that came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 2 years later, he's not even here to spend that money.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey,
is that not insane?
what's that?
Is that not insane?
We all gonna do it. We all gonna have to go through that. You know, we all gonna have something, hopefully, in our pocket that we all have something we can't take with us. We can't take nothing with us. Whether it be money, a house, car, something you saved up for, kids, wife, whatever, can't take it. So, the Egyptians tried that, didn't work.
Didn't work.
You know?
Didn't work.
But at least he got a chance to take out or have that money and spend what he could spend, I guess. You know, good for him. But $1 or $1 billion still couldn't have took it with him.
That's true. You know, let me get your thoughts on something. When he passed, 50 Cent, who is his lifelong enemy, arch enemy, you know, he put up a post and was like, yo, he trolled him. Did what 50 does. And said, you know, he was going to go smoke on a Gotti pack.
You got to be careful with that. I get the beef and I get the whole long-standing supposedly whatever, you know. I don't know. You got to be careful playing around with stuff like that. I don't know. Speaking on ill of the dead, you know. There was a time of my life. I don't know. I just think at some point you got to grow up too, though. You know, mature up some type of way. It's just kind of dumb now. Like, I get it. That's his shtick. He's a epic troll. Dude's really, really good at it. But I don't know. I just don't speak ill of the dead like that. I don't care what you did with me. You got to deal with something way greater than me in the afterlife. So by me saying anything, it's not going to change the outcome of what you got to go through. It's not going to change anything. If anything, it's going to make my experience when I got to go through that same dark tunnel that we all got to go through a little bit more worse. I don't want that baggage. By speaking there, we had our beef. We did whatever. It is what it is. I don't know. He didn't go kill him. So he waited for Father Tom to take care of that, the one above us. I would never speak ill on the dead like that. Not even the guys that I killed. I ain't got nothing bad to say. Nothing. So.
Nah, I think, you know, I mean, I guess I'll just ask you as simple as I can. Is it one of them things where it's everything's fair in love and war?
How much war could it?
Or was it just, yo, you crossed the line, bro?
I'm not going to say all is fair in love and war. During the time of war, yeah. During the time of it. But what war were they in after the fact? He had already been shot. You know, many years, Murder Inc. wasn't even a thing no more. How real was the beef? 50 didn't go see him. I remember 50 a long time ago, not a long time ago, a while ago, saying about you never see two rich men fight. You only see poor people fighting. 50 Cent's not poor, so what war was he in? You know, I get back before all the whatever, but he's not in that lifestyle no more. He's a businessman. I get your past, but all is not fair, I believe, to some degree. To some degree.
Yeah, you know.
Leave the dead alone. I don't know. Don't be surprised if, I don't know, something happens and we sitting up here having a conversation like, damn, we should have gave 50 his flowers. I don't play with death. I'm paranoid about that whole thing. Once you go, you're gone. You're gone. I can't even, if I have nothing nice to say, your name won't even cross my lips. You know?
Nah, nor should it. I mean, at the end of the day, like real talk, and then we'll move this thing on. I think especially for somebody like a 50 Cent, right?
Mm-hmm.
who has such a large platform, who's such a big celebrity, who has so many people who follow him, listen to him, there's a responsibility that comes with those millions. There's a responsibility that comes with that celebrity.
Yeah.
There's a responsibility that comes with the platform that you're on. In street culture, you know, we see too many kids who have lost their lives by talking about their ops.
Smoking on
After
it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Bro, this is what you want to put out there to the
Right.
world?
That's what I'm getting.
Like-
Long story. That's what I'm trying to say. It's that. Like the whole I'm smoking on this pack. I'm like, man, I don't know. After a while, like, one, it gets old. Two, it's just, look how that cycle continues, you know? And this keeps continuing. You'll see one kid posting up on Instagram, you know, he's smoking on this ops pack. And then 2 weeks later, that kid's dead who was just smoking on, and the cycle keeps going and going.
There you go.
It's stupid.
Dudes have lost many people have
Yep.
lost their lives taking that route.
Yep.
I believe, you know, even just coming to mind, I mean, there's so many of them. Let's just keep it 100. So many of them dudes out in Chicago, in Florida, the kid Julio Fulio.
Yeah.
Like all these kids who you want to play with the dead, you forget somebody loved that man.
Yep.
Like somebody is ready to ride for that man.
Thank
like
you.
you disrespecting this man's memory, disrespecting his corpse, disrespecting the fact that I'm in mourning.
Thank you.
And you laughing?
Right.
Nah, we got to take this and handle it a different way.
Yep.
So I just think, you know,
Irv Gotti left that money with somebody.
there you go.
And $300 million or whatever is a lot for a hit. Can be.
There you go. Nah, I think 50, you know, we get it. We know who he is. We're crystal clear on who he is. But I also think it's a responsibility that he has
Thank you.
to be bigger than this.
Thank you. Yeah.
You have a responsibility to be bigger than this.
Right.
You know, staying on this 50 topic for a second, I mean, his level of beef, I mean, it just never stops. You know, he did the show BMF, put Big Meech's son Lil Meech, in the series. Big Meech comes home
and
takes
goes
a
to Rick
picture
Ross.
with Rick Ross was about to do a welcome home reunion concert, and all hell broke loose.
Yeah. He's just
50.
He's petty.
Go ahead.
He's petty. But you kind of gotta be. I think I would have been a little bit petty too after all that. If I took care of your son and this, and then you want to, I'd be a little bit petty too. Yeah.
Okay. One of the worst things, like, I'm not saying you're wrong by no stretch of the imagination, but Meech did 20 years. Meech did 20 years. A real 20 years.
Yeah.
Meech was really in the streets.
Yeah.
The only reason we know his name, he didn't write no records.
It's because of Ross.
No, hear me out. No, absolutely not. Maybe you, the only reason you know his name.
Yeah.
But the culture as a whole knows Meech's name because that BMF crew was legendary. They were legendary for being in the street. So this is a real street dude. This ain't a fake street dude.
Yep.
And one of the worst things you could do to any street dude is even insinuate that they're a rat.
Facts.
Even let those words come out your mouth. And I don't know I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just going on the stories I heard. But Nipsey Hussle, from what I understand, the dude who killed him, he spoke to him and was like, yo, I just heard on the streets that you snitched. Not even saying that the man did.
And yeah.
And dude came back And we
him.
all know what happened to Nipsey.
Right, right.
So when you talking to dudes who live in the streets, this is their world. You don't play with that. Snitch, rat, you told. I was actually very surprised that that was the route. You know,
50
not to
took.
say 50 didn't even have a reason to be upset.
Dangerous
But that's
game.
about as low as you can hit a man like that.
Dangerous game. I don't know what goes. I don't know. We'll have to see where 50 Cent goes. What goes around comes back around to a degree. Or maybe we might be looking at like Thanos, and 50 Cent really is him. He can just go through unscathed, and he really is like that. I don't know. But yeah, I agree with you on that. I wouldn't be out here calling everybody or anybody a rat. No. I would be petty, but yeah. Insinuating something like that is like taking, for some people, for some men, that's all they have, is their loyalty or their ability not to rat out their fellow man, brother, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, Meech is not in the conversation because he wrote great literary work. He's not in the conversation because he's some scholar or he's in the conversation because I ran a drug empire. And I did it at a legendary status.
Facts. Yeah.
We rewrote the book on how to ball. I think it's where I come from. You don't call a man a snitch unless you got paperwork.
You think 50 has
unless
paperwork?
you can show.
You think 50 has paperwork though?
I don't know. I mean, if 50 come from the street, so obviously he must have something.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if he's a rat or not. I don't think so. But if 50 called him a rat, you would think he would at least have some type of information, or he's just being that level of troll and he's not worried about any repercussions, which is fine either way. He's lived that persona as far as I remember, listening to 50 Cent growing up. But yeah, he's always kept that same persona.
I think we would all have to admit that especially anybody from New York, 50 was in the streets. It's not like this is made up. But again, he knows just as well Meech was too, and there's ramifications.
Exactly.
For when you make claims like that, especially on such a large scale.
Yep. Either 50's not worried about the smoke, or is like just wants it. He's not worried about it, and just wants it, or knows nothing's going to come his way.
50 is a petty dude.
Yeah.
When all this started to blow up, he exposed Lil Meech's text messages.
Yeah.
It almost went from it was all good just a week ago to freaking hell on earth. Like 50 is like, yo, I'm not rocking with your father, so you going down with him.
Right.
Canceled the show. Like ain't gonna be no other season of BMF. Like, nah, we gonna burn this whole thing down.
Yeah. Level of savage.
He just don't play fair.
Yeah. I like it. It's cool. Hey, 48 laws of power. You're going to destroy your enemy, do it completely and utterly destroy him. If you're going to do it that way.
And to add insult to injury, that massive concert that was going to happen to help put money back in Meech's pocket and get him back up on his feet was canceled.
Yep.
2 hours before the show.
Wild. That's
crazy,
worse.
right?
That's worse than buying out. Who was it? Ja Rule's concert seat tickets, something like that. What was it? 50 did that to Ja Rule.
He said he did. According to Ja Rule, Ja Rule's like, hell no, he ain't.
I'm not believing
my
Ja
concert
Rule.
tickets. My concerts be sold out.
I never met a person that went to a Ja Rule concert, ever. Ever. Never met nobody talk about it.
Listen, man, according to Ja Rule, holla, holla. Like, people be up in my concerts.
Uh-huh. All right.
Come on, yo, Nick, you telling me you not going to a Ja Rule concert?
No. If I had free tickets, I wouldn't give them to somebody. Just stay at home. Just stay at home, fam.
Yo, what Ja Rule songs you know, Nick?
The one, oh man, I never was a big Ja Rule fan. He was always corny. I'm gonna look like a with Ashanti. Help me out, bro.
What's love?
What's love? There we go. What's love? I'm good. You got that. What else? Name a good Ja Rule song. Name two good Ja Rule songs.
I just said holla holla. That's probably my favorite Ja Rule song. Holla holla.
Give me DMX then. Just give me DMX.
Yo, don't be surprised if you get a bottle of Dawn P sent to your crib courtesy of Curtis. Like, 50 Cent is gonna watch this and be like, yo, somebody get Nick Irving on the phone. I like that guy.
Give me the DMX. I'll keep the Ja Rule. I'm good. But like I said, you got holla holla. I got the Ashanti. What was it called again?
What's love?
What's love? See, that's how fast I forget about Ja Rule songs. I'm good.
Well, listen, man. According to Ja Rule, he's not here to defend himself. 50 Cent never bought.
I'm believing 50.
Never bought concert tickets to help him out because his concerts sell out on their own.
You can't.
So I'm not gonna sit here and let Nick Irving slander this man's name.
As petty as 50 Cent is, there's no way I'm taking Ja Rule's word over 50. You know 50's petty, and he would do that. I would do something like that. So I know 50 would. And I'm not believing Ja Rule now.
Are you serious? So you don't even believe him on this? You don't think he sold out of that concert?
No. What year are we talking? Seriously, like what year? 2000?
Yo, Nick,
today?
Listen,
No.
you gonna become an honorary G Unit member. I can see it now.
Hey, I'll take it.
You trading in your Army Ranger uniform. You gonna get a lifetime supply of G Unit clothes sent to your crib.
Oh man.
And the next time 50 go on tour, when he passed through Texas, you getting 2 front row seats to the concert.
I'll be there. And I'll have my little Ja Rule cutout too.
Oh my goodness. You know, before I let you up out of here, I got to bring up, because there's so much going on in the world, especially, you know, me working around the hip hop industry for the better part of my life. Mm-hmm. You know, it breaks my heart every time I, you know, turn on the television and another rapper gets killed. Mm-hmm. But right down there in your backyard, Fort Worth, Texas, G Money, Lil Ronnie. Just got killed with his 5-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
The day after her birthday, while they was at the car
wash. Yeah.
And it's all caught on camera. Now that made national news. What was it like down there in Texas for y'all?
You probably had to be more in like the Houston, Dallas area to actually like notice anything. San Antonio, quiet, you know. Nothing really happens in San Antonio, to be honest with you. Yeah. No, it's just hot. That's about it. We get our 2 weeks of winter and it goes back to being hot. We didn't no. You probably had to be in Houston, Dallas area to actually have known or seen something. It did make it to the news, you know, in San Antonio around here, but that's about as far as it went, like local news, you know. Yeah,
but what comes across your mind? I mean, you have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this man lost his life
Mm-hmm.
with his daughter, and they're shooting AK-47s.
Mm-hmm.
That's a horrible way to go out, number one.
Oh yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
number two, your baby with you? Like, I'm like, yo, what? Like, is this where we at as a culture?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's,
People will
yeah.
see you with your kid and still let off?
So that's the mafia worked on a whole different premise, you know. But you're right. That's the state that we're in right now as a culture, which is sad. No, we don't have to go to war with anybody. Like I said, we're going to kill ourselves. And if there's one people that's the best at it, it's probably ours. It's probably ours. We're really good at doing that. So, like last interview, man, I'm good with the gangster rap stuff. I'm good with it. It's pointless music, my opinion. I think it's pointless, polluting minds, and makes these things happen. It causes people to believe that they can go out and do these things and be a certain way because of what they heard on a rap lyric or something like that. You know? I just think it all keeps perpetuating the same thing. The more you rap and talk about this type of lifestyle, it's going to keep going. There's no end to it. Not saying
Do you see it getting any better?
No. It's been like this since what? 90s? The furthest back I can remember was Tupac, Biggie. That's it. And I was alive for that. And I remember like that vibe growing up, but that's just the nature of what seems like the industry, the business, which is crazy. You never heard of like Garth Brooks and Toby Keith like butting heads and want to do a drive-by on one another, you know? Taylor Swift and, I don't know, somebody else. You never hear about that. It's just in the rap game. It's weird. That's a whole thing that we all as a culture need to figure out and talk about. That's what I think, you know? Like, why is that such a huge problem? Toby Keith has never talked about doing a drive-by. Ever. And the dude's doing just fine. He got a chance to see an old age, get some money. But if you go into the rap industry, I mean, the odds of you seeing a lifelong career, live to be a long age and enjoy all the money you've made are slim. There's not too many who can do it. Most of the new rappers nowadays are just one-hit wonders. Most of them are just one-hit wonders. They trend for a day or two. They become the background music to like a trendy video, and that's about it. Nothing impactful, nothing I can remember, you know? So it just perpetuates the same exact music that I've heard the last guy talk about, and the guy before him and the one before him. And then she's gonna talk about the same thing I've been hearing Lil' Kim and everybody else, Foxy Brown, talk about since day one. I'm good. Give me something new, you know? It's just perpetuating the same thing. I can go in it's gonna sound, I don't care. If that music defines our culture, then where are we as a culture? You know? If I can go to a black neighborhood and I'm gonna get a girl to twerk, I'm guaranteed to see a girl twerk. I'm guaranteed to see him have a beef with him, calling him his ops and him smoking on that dead pack, and then he's gonna get smoked on. All pause moments, but all y'all dudes out here smoking each other? Come on, it sounds a little, to me, you know, stop it. It's a cultural problem. It's a cultural problem. We don't need anybody else to divide us. Just give me some more drill music, you know? It's sad. Yeah, that's what it is. It's sad. It's sad. And it pisses me off as not even being an old head or an old guy, but it pisses me off seeing that there is no change. There has never been a change. The music has always been this way. It perpetuates a lifestyle that 99.9% of the people preaching it have never lived. And it influences masses because they look up to these people and they go out and do stupid stuff, and then it destroys an entire generation of people.
Nah, you couldn't have said it any better. And even as you're talking, you know, I love this culture. This rap music during our generation has been the vehicle, or one of the major vehicles, that has given hope and got so many people out of the hood.
Facts. Oh yeah, facts.
And to think that while it has delivered so many people from impoverished conditions and the hood as a whole, with all of the media attention that's on it, these are the stories that we see every freaking day.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
I mean, it hurts me every time I see it, because I know they are looking in like, yo, these people are freaking savages.
Thank you. Yep.
Like they're really animals.
Mm-hmm.
And it breaks my heart, man.
Yeah. Yeah. There is no, I don't think in my lifetime we'll see a change for the community, the culture as a whole. No. We've already bit the bullet and went down that rabbit hole. We're already too far down. The culture would have to want to change. The people would have to want to change. But if you do that, then you're viewed as being soft in this day and age, and we can't have that. So keep it up. Keep the ops.
I want to see change so bad. I do. Because it is a beautiful culture.
Yeah.
Hip hop is a beautiful culture. It really, really is.
Mm-hmm.
It's been on the front line of so many trends.
Facts.
Saving so many people's lives, changing so many families and generations.
Mm-hmm.
But to think about what comes along with it, and to your point, I don't care what other genre of music you speak about, it's never this.
Never. Why is that?
Never this.
Why? That's the question.
That's the $1 million question.
Yep. Why?
We'll end it there, my brother. You know, maybe one day we will be able to answer that question why, or better yet, maybe one day we won't even have to answer it.
There we go. Yep.
Nick, Sergeant Nick Irvin, I love, respect, and appreciate you, my brother.
Same.
Great conversation as always, and I'm looking forward to next time, kid.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Till next time.